What's happening, gang? How is everyone out there in the watch community today? Hopefully everyone's having a good day. We've got Sergio 9999. He says, "How you doing, Lucha? I'm here on a lazy Sunday. Hey, good to see you. Good to see you. Have a great Sunday to everyone from Rough Sea. Good to see you as well in the chat. We got 11 people watching this. Hopefully we're hitting that upvote button. Always important. We got my good friend Orko in the chat. Howdy, Orko. How you guys doing? Now, first I want to give a shout out to Curly, whose mother passed. Curly gives me hours of entertainment every week, so we feel bad for him at this time. It's hard. It's hard when you lose a loved one. So hopefully he's doing okay. And just let him know if you guys are fans of his. Let him know you're thinking about him at this time. It's tough. I went on the show with Brian and Mo and Paz last night for a little bit, longer than they could. I was kind of dozing off there for a little bit. I had to get off so I could do this show this morning. It happens, but best prayers and thoughts and prayers for Curly. Best wishes for him and the family. I know it's tough. It's a tough time. But on the screen, we have breakfast. You're not allowed to make fun of my biscuits. I tell you guys all the time, I am not a baker in any way, shape, or form. So got out the Bisquick and made some biscuits. They were delicious. Made a little country gravy to go with them, some sausage and bacon, and a couple eggs. And I cracked one of the yolks, so I was flipping the eggs onto the plate. And but delicious, delicious, delicious. Rough Sea says that Brian the Pipe. Congrats with your awesome purchase. Yes. Ralph says, have a great stay. Lucha. Yes. So what's going on out there? What's happening, gang? I need some help. I got no content today. Good friend Helgestrand was kind enough to share a picture with me. Let me see if I can. It was the Jeep Gladiator. Excuse me, Jeep Gladiator with a Lucha M plate. And he said he talked to the guy, and the guy said it was for Luchador, which is pretty awesome. Good to see our friend BW in the chat. Good morning, BW. I hope you're still enjoying that amazing Vacheron Constantin that you unboxed last Sunday here on the Luchabetic Underground. What an amazing, one of my favorite watches. One of my favorite watch dials. As far as color and depth, it's just a beautiful piece. Absolutely gorgeous piece. So congrats on that again. I flirted around, made a couple offers, got a couple weird responses on Chrono 12. I had one guy was trying to get me to do something off of Chrono 24, which I wasn't comfortable with on a No Time to Die. And the reason I wasn't comfortable with it, I don't know the guy, and one of the reasons that I like to use sites like eBay or Chrono 24 or places, like European Watch or Nashville, Fed, places, people that and trust, Berdeen's, places like that is a certain amount of protection. There's so many, you've seen all the videos about, fake watches, Chinese watches, all that stuff. You want to have a little bit of protection. I'm not a super wealthy man where I could take a $10,000 hit on a watch and it not hurt me in any kind of way. It would hurt me a little bit. I think it would hurt most of us. It would hurt even rich people. But, there's a certain protection that I'm looking for when making a purchase like that. And that's why I always recommend talk to your friends, talk to people in the chat. If there's something you're looking at somewhere and you don't know anything about the dealer or where it's coming from, get some opinions. In this case, I didn't get any opinions. I just walked away. Because it was. I get it. He doesn't want to pay the fees and stuff involved, but the reason that I want to go through there is I need that. If I buy this direct from him, I have no protection. He could send me anything. It doesn't necessarily even have to be the watch in the pictures. And that would be bad. That would be a bad thing. So in certain circumstances, it could just be fine, but you never know. You just never know. So you gotta watch out for yourself. Orco's having an egg sandwich. My breakfast looks better. My breakfast was pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. My biscuits, although they didn't look that great, they were pretty tasty. They weren't I did not do the canned roll of biscuits. I actually made biscuits. So BW says he is loving his new Vacheron. He should be. It's an amazing watch. It's so cool. Our friend Mo also has that watch. I know other people, I'm sure, in the community have it, but I just love that watch. Just love that watch. Orca says the counterfeits are out of control, and it's not just watches. I play guitar, and fake Fenders and Gibsons are everywhere. You have to be careful. You do. You have to be careful. You have to do your due diligence, as they say, as a watch collector. That's why there are times it is worth it to pay a little more from a trusted dealer. If I get a watch from Joyce's Jewelers, I know that it's legit. If I get a watch from European Watch Company or National, I know I'm getting the real thing. Or from an AD, those types of things. You got to be careful. Watch out. Be careful. Don't let somebody steal your money. I work hard. I put in another 60 hours this week. Last week of the month, hectic close. Weren't quite where we needed to be new car wise this month, but used cars, we killed it. We crushed it. Fortunately, the last few days, I took in a tremendous amount of good trade-ins. I had 3 deals where people traded in 2 cars on one, like 2 nice cars through retail pieces, not just the wholesale junkers. But yeah, I got rid of quite a few cars and took in quite a few nice pieces. So we start off the month with some inventory because we sold a shit ton of used cars this month, which is great. It all goes into the coffers. We hit our truck number, we hit our used car number. We didn't quite hit the new car number, but our back end and finance amounts help make up for a lot of that. Plus, the used cars are traditionally a little more profitable than new cars. So we did a good job. Got rid of stuff, and like I said, it was nice to take in some trades because it's getting a little sparse down there on the used car lot. When you outsell what you haven't come in, you can't buy these things at auction. They're ridiculous auction prices, so you have to trade them. You buy them off the curb where you can. BW said that's great news. Thank you, sir. Yeah, it was good stuff. Also, great news was breakfast. I did the country breakfast. You call this the Ode to Cracker Barrel, if you will. This is country gravy and biscuits, eggs, sausage, and bacon. The all-American Southern breakfast. How's that? It was delicious. So good. Loving it. I love breakfast. Good morning, Billy. And I appreciate you guys for coming by. As always, please hit that upvote button. We try to get to between 30 and 40 upvotes every month or every week is the goal. So we got 15 people watching and 9 upvotes right now. We'll see who shows up today. If maybe Brian or George or BW or Harry or anybody wants to pop on, the link is pinned at the top of the chat. Got a little bit of a late start this morning. Putzing around with my breakfast, if you will. So I was kind of flying around here trying to get some stuff done. But like I said, it was a good week. Breakfast was delicious. I don't know if there's any other. This Instagram thing seems to be letting me pull up pictures again on the big picture thing. So that was last week's breakfast. So that's good. I can start putting more pictures back on the gram where it's easier. We did make some wings last week. Those were I grilled those, and I put a yellow curry sauce on them. Spicy yellow curry wings. They were delicious, delicious. Did get out and vote. And that is a local Western Pennsylvania slang term that I don't use. I'm not originally from here, so a lot of those, the yins and inat and stuff like that, I don't aren't in my vocabulary. I don't have those. Did everybody check out the Escapement show yesterday? What is the country name with the bone? I'm not sure I understand. I'm not sure I understand what you mean, Billy. I need more info to answer your question. Yeah. I mean, you do ham on the bone. Don't know. I don't know. What are you gonna do? But yeah, so I've had watches flying through my head. I've had trying to decide what I want to do. What does the Lucha want? So, I mean, basically the goal is by the end of the year, country ham on the bone. Country ham on the bone. Yes. Yes. I dealt with what I had. And I mean, country gravy is easy. You just basically make a roux and add some milk, thicken it up. I like mine a little bit thicker. So we go that way. I do a lot of ham too. You'll see. There'll be ham. There's always room for ham in the breakfast. But yeah, so I've been looking at a bunch of watches. I guess we'll just talk about what I'm looking at right now, or wait to see if anybody else wants to talk about watches. Let's see here. Let's take a look, see what my boys got over at Joyce's Fine Jewelers. Yeah, see that? There you go. There we are. Some of the usual suspects look like they're still there. There's Rolexes. I think this is kind of a new. This looks like an aluminum bezel. 16613. I owned that watch back in the day. It was polished. It was just polished. It was wrapped in the photos. There you go. So we do know that. Wasn't much on here that was piquing my interest right now. They get some cool stuff in there, so I'm sure there'll be something. I'm sure that something will come in that I like. I was thinking of maybe just putting off the big watches. I want to get 3 watches, but I want to have 3 nice, good watches by the end of the year. I'm sure I could get a deal on this. This would be a fun summer watch for running around. This is the Oris Aquas 300-meter diver with the gray bezel and the bright red strap. Speaking of bright red straps, George.
Good morning, Mark. Good morning, everyone.
How are you?
For a lazy Sunday, not too bad. Not too bad. Watched the Dodgers rip the Yankees last night. It was kind of fun to watch.
Always.
18-2 or something like that.
Hey, the Pirates won yesterday. That's a major cause for.
Yeah, fortunately, I think they're in last place, right?
Oh yeah, they're terrible. They're terrible.
Yeah, yeah,
Terribly run franchise.
yeah.
Terrible owner. Don't spend
And
any.
I'm sure the owner's making a killing though.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad thing to own a baseball team.
Hmm. Yeah, interesting times in baseball. It's the
Yeah.
haves and the have-nots.
Yeah. So is Shohei is he's still not pitching, right?
No, he's doing some bullpen throwing actually. So
Okay.
I sincerely hope, for the sake of the team, they don't put him back in for a
Sure.
while, just because you don't want to have him injured and then not be able to play at all.
Yeah, no, I get
You
it.
know,
Are you a Cracker Barrel fan at all, George?
loved it when I used to live in the South.
Oh yeah, Cracker Barrel's great. His
Yeah.
Billy goes there for his breakfast.
Oh, I love it. I wish there was one near me. I'm also a Waffle House fan.
See, I don't have a Waffle House real close to me. I've got a Cracker Barrel though.
I don't have any of them near me up here. The Northwest is a little more health conscious.
Orco, I see those old women in that gift shop all the time. I never see anybody buying
Mm,
anything, but they look at everything.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Doc Macon, Florida, good to see
Hey, good
you.
morning. Good morning. So, anyways, I contacted Tropical Watch the other day. Remember we were looking at
Was that
the
the
the yellow
yellow?
gold sub, yeah.
Let me.
So, and the owner of the company, his name is Jacek, Jacek, and he's a really nice guy.
Yeah.
I bought a couple of pieces from him before. I bought the 16528 and the 16508 from him,
Mm-hmm.
and on recommendations from a couple of other people in the chats who bought stuff
Yeah.
from him before. Uh, but anyways, he was pretty honest with it. He said, like you mentioned too, he said that the bezels kind of has a couple of scratches, but he said
Yeah.
if you'd like, he could ship it out and he could get it laser welded. And I said, I don't think I want that.
Yeah.
I don't want it touched. So, um, unfortunately, I've been busy at work, so I have to go through his email
Yeah.
today, and I'll let you know. But
Absolutely.
uh,
'Cause I'm a little bit-
all the links. He said all the links are there.
all
There's
right.
no box or papers.
Which
Uh,
one? Which one were we looking at there, George? 'Cause
it's the yellow gold blue dial sub. It was
that's,
like for 23,000.
let me pull. Let's pull up these guys. Remind everybody. There it
Right
is.
there, right there. Yeah.
Remind everybody what we were looking at. I mean the scratches are there. You
Oh
know,
yeah, 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 yeah.
I don't think it's necessary. It's. I mean, it's an old watch. It's gonna.
It is.
I would rather see the scratches than have them say, "Oh, we polished it and did this." I mean,
All right.
I'd
I'd
rather.
rather have me too. I'd rather have the scratches myself.
Yeah.
And everything is true unto its. The hands are the hands. The
Okay.
bezels, the bezel, the original bezel. Everything is there, not polished.
Right.
And prominent lugs. All the links present. So and it's he checked the pressure and everything. It looks like everything is good. So
Okay.
I'm thinking about it, and I have to
Beautiful
check his
watch.
follow up for the money. I think you can probably do worse, right?
Oh, absolutely. And one of the things with these is that blue gets a little purpley with time, which this one
It
looks.
does. And
This looks like it is a little bit.
yeah, and this photo doesn't show it well, but the ones he sent me looked a little bit purple.
Yeah, which I kind of like.
Over time.
I kind
Yeah,
of like that. It's kind of cool.
right.
Scotty H, what are you doing? What are you doing to our show with this Go Cubs stuff?
Mm, yeah.
Yeah, I like those old subs, those old bluesies and solid gold bluesies.
Mhm.
So the way that they, I don't know if you call it necessarily patina, but the way that they purple, like they get
Yeah.
that purple, dark royal blue to purple, is kind of cool.
I, what I like is on my Zenith, the dial, the white subdials is actually kind of a creamy looking color.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh
here comes
no.
Brian. He's been on the streams 24/7 ever since he got his new
Yeah.
watch.
Speaking of creamy looking. Hi, Brian.
Hello.
How are
Good
you?
morning. Oh, it was a late night.
Yeah.
He was on the. I passed out about like an hour into the what was it, the Curly show last night.
Yeah.
Oh, shout
Shout
out
out.
to Curly. I'm sorry to hear about the passing of his mama. So
Absolutely.
yeah, that's horrible.
100%.
Oh.
Yeah, I jumped on there for a while with them and tried to inject some humor into the evening. Hopefully, I was successful. The Billy says, remember this has
Right.
links.
Correct.
I believe it's going to be much lighter than the new sub. Yeah, but it's a different look. It's a different piece. It's not.
Yeah.
You're not buying this because you want the new one. You're buying this for what it is and how it looks, and mainly the look. And I'll tell you another thing. When you see someone wearing one of these, you know they're kind of a watch person. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of times the Submariner, like those people, a lot of Submariner people are just people who bought a Submariner to buy a Submariner, you know, because of the hype. But when you see someone wearing an older piece like this, there's certain watches that kind of that if you talk to that person, they're a little bit of a watch person. So.
Actually, if in my area, if you see somebody wearing this watch, you know they're a retired dentist from up north.
Well, that couldn't be me since I don't live in the north, technically.
You're north of Florida, so
Everyone's north of Florida, Brian.
But I think everyone
Hawaii.
I think everyone in South Beach has one of these.
Ah.
That one or the yellow gold Yachtmaster, right?
Yeah. I thought they were wearing Patek Philippe's.
Only the classy people.
Only the classy people. How are you still enjoying the new watch, Brian?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. In fact, I got it pulled apart right now because I was going to put the rubber strap on it. I don't have the right tool, so I ordered the tool.
Oh, you need a tool?
Well, to get the spring bar the right way and get it lined up with the way it holds in there and everything. Yeah, I need one of those pincher.
You could have just bought an Aqua Timer from IWC and it has that quick release.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I know. Quick.
Oh, my God.
I don't even know where to go. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that one is just, enough said.
I'm just throwing it out there.
What's on the wrist, by the way?
Me?
Yeah.
Super Racing.
Oh, okay. There you go.
You can't. Boom.
Nice. Hey, Cap. Good morning.
Morning, Doc. He says, tell us up north means Tallahassee. To us, I think he means.
Yeah.
Good morning, Cap. How are you? Speaking of subs,
I went down to Gainesville many years ago for a football game, a SEC matchup between UF versus Vanderbilt. And at the time, my brother-in-law is a Florida alumni.
Okay.
And so guess who was the coach and the quarterback at the time?
Well, could have been Spurrier and Tebow.
Yep, exactly. It was like 53-0 at halftime.
Okay.
And nobody left the game. Nobody left.
That's because there's nothing else to do in Gainesville.
I don't know about that. Isn't that the birthplace or the hometown of Tom Petty?
There's nothing else to do
right?
there.
I don't know. I'd like to. I wouldn't mind hanging out in Gainesville. It was pretty nice.
I will say. Go ahead, George.
Go ahead.
I was going to say that as a metalhead, predominantly most of my life, I took an old girlfriend, probably a girl I should have married, but she wanted to see Tom Petty, so we went to see Tom Petty here at the old Civic Arena. Pittsburgh, and it was
Yeah.
a great show. And
He always puts on a great show.
Really great show.
Yeah.
I came away from it with a renewed appreciation for his catalog. Not that I disliked him before, but I just didn't pay a lot of attention to him because he wasn't Iron Maiden or Black Sabbath or Judas Priest or any of the groups that I really liked there. But Orca says Gainesville is a weird town, according to
well, it's Florida. It's Florida, Orca. Yeah. Come on.
Birthplace of Gatorade.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Spurrier was a genius, says the
Yeah, he was.
He was a college days. Do you remember his failed Redskins?
Oh yeah.
He's a Heisman Trophy winner. He won the Heisman Trophy.
I think he won it in South Carolina, right?
I thought it was Florida.
Spurrier? I don't remember. I thought it was. I know. Didn't he? I know he coached South Carolina, but I thought he won one there.
Florida. No, the Heisman for best. He was a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Florida. Let me look him up. He won the 1966 Heisman as a quarterback for the University of Florida Gators.
Oh, okay. All right. Interesting. Never made it as far as I can remember in the NFL, though.
Yeah, right? A lot of the Heisman players don't. A lot of great college football players. It just for whatever reason doesn't translate into the NFL.
I don't know if you remember, but ESPN used to have a show called 60 for 60 or something like that.
30 for 30.
30 for 30, or yeah, exactly. And they had Marcus Dupree. Do you remember him?
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, the great running back, or the guy from Oklahoma, and he started at Alabama, went to Oklahoma, but his ego got too much of himself, and now he's
driving a truck.
Dump truck. He's taking out the garbage. It's hard to believe, in Mississippi somewhere.
Yeah, some of those guys just do not translate for whatever reason. It's a different game. It's a faster game when you get to the NFL. But it was there's a lot of them. They just don't get it done. Let's see. Orca says, I listen to the Heartbreakers' greatest every couple of years. There are probably 20 songs on that album, and every one of them is great. Petty was the GOAT.
I have to agree with that. I
really liked him after the show. Jen G's in the house. Hi, Jen.
Hey, good morning, Jen.
Seen you in a while.
Good morning, Bruce. Didn't see Bruce in the chat. Right? But I have to admit, I really do love Tom Petty. I have it on my Amazon playlist and all that good stuff. Definitely miss his music. It's kind of unbelievable he passed on.
Yeah.
Really, the demons always catch up.
They always do. He has one of my favorite songs when it comes to Brian.
Huh?
You got lucky, or
no? Don't come around here no more.
I think there's a lot of songs from him.
Well, I know exactly where I'm.
Oh God.
Sorry, Brian.
So anyway.
And to make it even better, I can do this. There. I'll put the owner of the channel in timeout for a little bit. And if he tries to come back, I can remove him too.
Oh God.
Jeez. See how I get treated?
Oh boy, oh boy.
Oh man. Gen G says, Brian, sorry I missed the unboxing live. The look on OC's face was worth the replay.
Yeah.
I said somebody earlier, Brian, before you popped on when I first came, I think it was Roth maybe, or hold on, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, Roth C. So he said, congrats on your new awesome purchase.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's beautiful. BW was in the chat. Hopefully he's still listening, but we had his grand unboxing last week. We and then we had Harry's Daytona the week before. So I started talking about something. I just wanted to get you guys as bigger. You guys buy a lot of watches, and we only have 11 upvotes and 20 people watching. Hit that like button, please. I started talking about so I had made an offer on a No Time to Die Seamaster.
Oh, Jesus.
Why?
Why? But anyway, aside from the why,
this car business must be a good profession.
Aside from the fact that I like the watch, but the guy he's using like coded language in the chat trying to get me to go offline.
No, don't.
I did not. No, it gave me the heebie-jeebies immediately. And I was curious if you've ever had an experience like that. And I just stopped contact. I didn't say anything. I was just like, no, I'm not doing that, because my theory is you buy from reputable dealers, or if you're buying on like eBay or Chrono24, places like that, you buy where you have at least some kind of protection. We've seen all these videos about fake watches here lately, and Chinese watches and stuff. I just think that if you buy off site from someone you don't know, God only knows.
I'll tell you an interesting story. Years and years and years ago, when I first started buying from Nashville Watch, Chase would never send an invoice. He'd never send an invoice. And I always thought that's kind of strange, and I was kind of concerned about that. So I used to take all the watches that I got from him and I'd go and have it checked, just because, in 2016, 2017, you didn't know, right? You just didn't know all the stuff. So even though it had the box and the papers and all that, you just didn't know. Mm-hmm. And then now recently, when you buy stuff from him, he does send you an invoice. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Invoice for everything I bought.
Right.
But the whole thing, I want to either buy from someone I know, buy off a platform I know that I have at least a little bit of protection, or Brian, you remember, George, you're going to hate this story. When I bought the IWC,
I hate it.
The IWC chronograph, the AMG, Brian, you remember I reached out to you. I'm like, do you know anything about this dealer? Do you know, and Brian actually went the extra 10 yards to like, here, I found this website. I found this. Here's, like trying to help me vet the guy because I'd never heard of him. And ended up making that purchase, and it was fine. You know what I mean? But I just think you need to protect yourself.
Yeah. So the famous thing is if you buy something from somebody and then they ship you an empty box.
Yeah.
And then you get the package arrives and it's empty, and you go, it's empty. And they're like, well, you didn't pay extra for insurance. You're screwed. Bye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of scams, a lot of, stuff. No. It's
I've had many times I've had buyers and sellers, especially through eBay, in the prior to the authentication process.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to that, I had a lot of them that would say, here is my @phone number ? Sign. Look at this, call me, let's talk. And I was like, no.
Basically, I can be found at, blah, 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 at gmail.com. And I was like, but it was all code. It was all the words. Yeah. It was like a word puzzle, to find out what he was saying. And I just ended contact. It gave me the heebie-jeebies. It just made me not feel like something's up. Maybe it could be 100% legit, but I'm not taking that chance.
Yeah. In the bottom of my description of every item that I list on eBay, it says, I will not sell this outside of eBay.
Yeah.
I do not need to sell this. Just trying to thin down. Don't try to contact me. No.
Kent Dag says, like they say, always use protection. Yeah, I think you need to protect yourself. You need to, like if I'm buying something from Nashville Watch or European Watch, I don't, or Federico, I don't have a lot of,
Yeah, yeah.
you know what I mean? Like I've bought from them before. I know people who bought from them before. I feel good about the transaction. There's other, or like George has bought from Tropical Watch before, so you feel, what I mean. You're familiar with them. It's okay, but some of some of these I don't know, and there were so many of them that sprang up during COVID and the spike. You just don't. I don't know these people.
Yeah, and I bought. I did a deal with George without protection, and it worked out okay. Although it did have it did have a minty fresh smell of fluoride, but yes.
God. Oh God. Oh my. Anyways.
Yeah, what do you do? But I love this watch, George. I just it's a beautiful piece.
I like it too, and like I said, I've been I've been busy at the office all week, so I'm gonna have to respond to them probably this evening and see.
Yeah, but looking forward to seeing this one, hopefully on your wrist here eventually.
Yeah, I haven't actually bought any new watches in over like a year or so, to be honest
Holy
with you.
crap.
Yeah, I've actually been consolidating a few things that I haven't been wearing and trying to like hone down the watches a little bit more. But overall, it's been. I think I showed you most of my stuff over the past few weeks and months. But overall, it's pretty much about it. Nothing really, too crazy.
Are you okay? Do you need a therapist?
I know. It's just, it's at a point where like I'm like thinking to myself, okay, I like it, but do I really like it? You know? And it's at a and I keep thinking to myself, well, now, I have a couple of other pieces that I really like more, but this is still good. You know what I'm saying? It's just like analysis paralysis.
Yeah, that's what I've been going through.
Yeah, I think it's withdrawal is what one of my friends says.
Yeah, I've really been looking at each potential purchase and going, all right, compared to what I own, how many times a month am I going to reach for that watch?
Right. Exactly.
And is it just, am I buying something just to have something new and fill up that one spot in the box that I have now?
Yep.
That's the way it works. Genji says that the liquid nature of watches and jewelry makes them a huge target for scammers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's why you got to do your due diligence. Captain says, I saw a vintage piece on Subdial I like, but it's in the UK. And he's never used that site before, so I can't take the risk outside of the country. Yeah, that's the other thing.
Yeah.
I don't, especially with places I don't know. I normally, when I do my filters, when I'm looking at watches, I hit US only. And then start paring it down from there, because I'm not looking for anything super, like super or anything like that. I'm looking at Swatch Group shitters and IWCs, Cartiers, stuff like that, stuff that you can find in the States. And I'm like, well, and again, it just goes back to that: what kind of protection do I have for myself? And I don't feel a lot of times out of the country. Then who knows what's it going to cost you to get it here? What tariffs are going to be in place when it finally shipped? I don't know.
I was on YouTube, just looking through some stuff, and I found this watch channel, and I forgot the name of it because it was late last night.
Mm-hmm.
But he has a website. It's called Legacy Watch, and it's based out of Singapore.
Okay.
And it's basically all independents, or most of it. He has APs, he has some Rolexes, but I was on it and I was listening to his last YouTube video, and it was pretty informative, I thought.
Yeah. That's it,
And
George?
I think that's the one, Mark.
Okay.
And he has a lot of like really. He had a Simone Brett. He had.
Wow.
I don't think that's
No,
it.
I don't think that's it.
No, that's not it. That's not. It's Legacy. It's called Legacy Watch Company, and I think it's based out of Singapore.
Legacy Watch Co. Let's try that one.
Yeah, that's probably it. Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, that looks more
Yeah.
like. There you go.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's got some really nice pieces in there, and the prices seem like they're really legit once you do the conversion from the Singapore dollar to the U.S. dollar. So I was just looking there and just kind of seeing what he had, and he has a pretty decent inventory.
Yeah.
But
Interesting.
yeah,
Gen G is that baller sub. Nice choice, George.
I haven't bought it yet, Jan. Haven't bought it yet.
Captain says that sub screams George V.
There you go. That means classless and trashy.
Sergio is back from F1. McLaren P1, P2. Look out. Who was 3? McLaren's having a hell of a season.
Anyways, I was just looking at his website this early this morning. So
yeah,
some good watching. Some really nice pieces there. Unique and interesting pieces.
Yeah, very. Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah.
I didn't even go so far to ask about how it would ship to the U.S. or anything like that,
right.
or what the customs or whatever else,
It'd be smuggled in a pack of tuna.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
You get it in your next order of dental floss.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, I like all those little freebie giveaway dental flosses that the dentist gives you.
There's nothing freebie, Brian. You're paying for it one way or the other.
Well, yeah, I know.
Ferrari was P3. Ooh, good job, Ferrari.
If you're only supposed to get one and you end up with 5 or 6, then the other 4 are free.
Leclerc. John Leclerc. Cool. Very cool. So that's your.
So anyways, I thought I'd just kind of give you another website to look at. If somebody's interested in
nothing wrong with that.
Whatever, But like I said, it would give me a reason to take a trip to Singapore, where I haven't been in decades.
Are you still planning on maybe coming to the great Keystone State of Pennsylvania?
I am, actually. I may have another particular reason to come, but my son is in the middle of applying to professional schools. So there's a few schools in Pennsylvania that he's thinking about applying to. So if he gets an interview out there, I'm seriously thinking about it.
Nice.
I'd like to see you and Mr. G and Double D and Kevin if he's out there, and a few other people.
Very cool.
I just hope I don't have. No offense to you, Mark, but he's applying to what are the schools over there? UPenn, Temple, and University of Pittsburgh. So I'm hoping I don't have to make 3 trips out there.
Yeah. Well, Penn and Temple are both in Philly.
Yeah.
And the University of Pittsburgh, I believe I've heard for years that they have a great dental school there. So,
allergies. Sorry about that. Yeah, they all 3 schools are pretty good. So
Penn's an Ivy League school.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That means you have to accept a spanking by a goat.
Kent Egg says George LFU is calling him.
Yep. I think he has some issues going down to the deep south.
Dirk Diggler says my dentist used to give away fancy reach toothbrushes. Now it's toothbrushes that I wouldn't use to clean my shoes. I think he's getting cheap.
Oh, damn.
Time to change dentists.
Yeah.
Yeah. Normally, what we do is we give Oral B, and
Oh, yeah.
it has our name and embossed on the handle, and then obviously they get all the accoutrements that goes with it, floss, picks, uh, mouthwash. You get the whole 9 yards. And if you
Now,
and if you have an electric brush, we usually carry the Oral B, the head
Okay.
for 'em,
For
we change them out. Yeah.
if you do come to Pennsylvania, you need to bring me an official George Varghese.
All right, I will do that.
yeah, I want a
will do
George
that.
V Oral B.
All right.
Damn.
All right. I'll.
Can
You
I
think-
find?
Brian,
Can I
didn't
find
give
those
up
on the
your watch
pre-owned?
purchase?
all right.
Where are they on the pre-owned market? How they hold their value?
Slightly. Actually, if it's my name's on there, it gives a premium to it.
Premium
I
price.
know. Shh. God damn it!
Yeah.
Now there's another thing that's leaked out on this channel. Shit.
Right.
Captain says that guy's video was very informative about indie brands selling
Yes.
at auction. Stumbled onto it yesterday. Started looking at the MBNF. Kent says you got to avoid the gray market dental offices.
That's funny. That's funny. Oh, I knew all the Oral B jokes would be rolling in now. Oh
Yeah.
God.
I
Whenever-
thought you said you wait. Or you said Oral B. I thought you said Oral V.
Oh God.
Whoa, Sergio said, here's something to check. Another thing to check when we're talking about out of country purchases. He says, check your import taxes. If it treats new and used watches the same, in Brazil, used pays 0% import, new pays 100%.
Oh geez.
Easily.
Okay. See, there you go. That's not too bad though.
In the UK, there is no VAT on pre-owned product.
Okay.
So if you buy something there and you go to you're not going to get the VAT back. There is none.
There is none.
But on new products, there is.
Okay.
Interesting.
The United Kingdom only wants to tax you on the purchase of an item once, not like here in the US, where we'll tax that item as many times as we can.
We'll give you a trade-in credit, though.
Yeah.
True.
Man.
I wonder how many times you could sell a George V Oral B.
Oh God.
One does never, ever know. Let's see if Chase got anything interesting in while we're floating around here. Sea Dweller. That's always the Sea Dweller is always on my potential list.
Do you see that? Do you see that Grand Comp paddock Chase has there for 119 or 109? What's the MSRP on something like that, Brian? Is it like 180 or 190?
I'm not sure, but that's such a deal.
It is. I think it was like $180,000 if I'm not mistaken.
Try the 5270J from Patek right now is 207.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Plus sales
tax. So that's like about 225,000 ish.
208,780 is the
and then tax.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
This looks like a beautiful. It's got everything. It's a 2024, so it's not like an old.
No, that's what I saw that, and I'm like, this is. I thought it was like 180. I didn't think it was like over 200.
Yeah.
Damn.
Now, can I just tell you guys the stupid part of Patek?
Sure.
My Aquanaut was $28,000.
Yes.
That's 1/8 of the retail price of this 5270J.
Okay.
The Aquanaut is 20 times more recognizable than this 5270J is.
Correct.
If you're out in a crowd, that's.
But that's the thing about Patek, though, right, Brian? Other than the Aquanaut and the Nautilus line, pretty much everything else sells under retail, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
even these nice grand comps and, hugely under retail.
Yeah.
And if he's selling it for 119, he probably bought it for what? What do you think? Maybe 100? 105?
I would think
Right?
He might have.
maybe 110.
No, I don't think he went that high. I think he might have crossed 100.
Okay.
So that's like a 50% haircut in a year.
Yeah.
For the person who bought this brand new, right?
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeesh. John D's in the chat. Good morning, everyone. And George, your Dodgers did big last night.
how would you like to be a New York sports fan waking up this morning? The Knicks lost. The Dodgers ripped the Yankees. I don't know how the Mets did, but not a good morning. Not a good morning.
Not a good morning for New York sports. The what's his name? That the Mets signed. He's having a terrible year.
Oh God, Soto. Oh my God, yeah. So, and for Captain, at least hey Captain, at least your Jets didn't lose this weekend. Maybe that'll entice him to hop on.
Captain, the Jets and Giants have not lost a game in 2025.
Yeah,
exactly. They're undefeated and they're looking good.
No, they haven't played. They haven't lost a game.
Yes.
Well, the Jets are going with Justin Fields, who's okay at best. We had him for a few games last year. It's not that he played terribly, but he didn't play great or anything. So hopefully you get something out of him. He's a great runner.
Do the Steelers even have a quarterback currently on their roster?
Mason Rudolph.
Oh no. Oh God.
Just waiting to get hit in the head with a helmet again.
Oh my God. Yeah, I remember that. By Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
That was classic. Let me just take my helmet off and whack this guy.
How did we get?
God.
Let's switch back to Patek, please.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways,
why, but...
so it's 20. What size is this? A 42 millimeter, or is it like a chunky monkey kind of 45 or something?
Speaking of New York sports, what's happening, Cap?
Hey,
Lucha, George.
Yeah, Cap.
George. That was below the belt. That was uncalled for. I love you. You're a great guy. You know this. That was a little below the belt. It's off season. This is no Jets. It's a no jet zone.
No fly zone.
Oh God.
No Jets talk allowed.
Yes.
It's a 41 millimeter, George.
Dan, that's actually pretty nice for that kind of money.
Yeah.
What do we got? Sorry, guys, my mic cut out.
We're looking at the Paddock. What reference is this? 5170?
5270J.
Yeah, 5270. Oof. What a beauty of a watch. And it's literally brand new.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? 2024. Damn.
Mo, how are you?
Hey.
This watch. All right, I had the 4 or 5 microphone things with my iPhone. I still can't eliminate that, but I think I'm good now.
All right. Sound good.
This watch is insane. And the older ones, right? They came out with, I don't know if this is 36 millimeter because I think it
41.
is.
No, it's 42. 41.
Oh, this is
41.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
41. Oh, that could actually fit my wrist.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So think about it this way. You and Brian walking together. Brian's wearing the Aquanaut and you're wearing this. Brian's watch will be stolen right from his wrist in New York, and this one will just be, he'll just walk off safe because nobody knows what the hell this is.
Exactly.
Correct? It's amazing.
Yeah, the Aquanaut's like a good football team, and this is like the Jets or the Giants.
Oh,
Oh
gee.
God. Oh, oof. See, Cap, I loved you too much to even go down that road.
Yeah,
that
no,
was Brian.
I appreciate
I
that.
wouldn't,
But we
even I wouldn't do that to you.
Brian, he's grandfathered in, both literally and figuratively. But
Yes.
he's entitled. He he's put in his dues. We know,
Hey, I tried to promote you to Admiral.
you
Now
did.
that you had
And
multiple. Yeah.
you're my biggest supporter. In fact, my only supporter on the satellite Rogue One, Mr. GMT show.
Yeah.
Oh,
50
Yeah.
views, guys. 50 views.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I'm thinking of
Oh,
merging
wow.
with Lucha Bedic, but I don't think he wants to buy or acquire
Hey,
a
hey.
toxic sludge channel. So,
Yeah, don't be coming on this bigger channel and try to suck up and steal the lead, man.
They're stealing my leads.
Oh,
Yeah. Unless you give me keys on the other channel, then I'll suck up. But
Oh,
basically,
see,
since
you
I got
see how
keys
Brian
here,
is.
He can be purchased for keys.
You
I
know,
can be swayed.
yeah, see how Brian is. Brian's like a friend in need. You know what they say about a friend in need? Or you remember Bobby Heenan? He used to say about a friend in need is no friend at all.
There's no friend at all.
Brian could have the whole channel, man.
I don't want to pay the StreamYard bill.
GMT cut it out. It's all free. There's no, you can't pull anything up. There's no background. There's no music.
Yeah.
He cheaped out. Yeah, it's really dark. It's dark web.
Dark web stuff.
That's hilarious.
Dark web watch talk. We could do anything.
Okay.
I pulled up the scene from Risky Business at the end of it. The one where he had the Porsche, the 928, and he was being chased by Guido, the killer pimp.
Yes.
It was great, man. I had fun.
So are you saying the only way to pull something up is to get your phone and show it to the camera on that channel?
Yeah, I mean, you horse and buggies and
oh God, that's
cups and
hilarious.
string.
That's hilarious.
That watch there is 12.4 millimeters thick.
Yeah.
It's a perfect everyday dress watch.
Who wears a dress watch anymore? Who dresses up?
Well, I don't know.
It's a question.
I don't know. I think that watch is actually more than just a dress watch. I think you can wear that pretty much, with most. I'd wear it with just about everything if I had that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why not?
Except when you're doing an extraction. Then
then you might get like blood on it. It's never happened to me.
Figure LF.
Exactly. Oh, what a disaster. Anyways.
I'd like to return this watch. It says water resistant, but apparently it's not blood resistant.
Yes.
Yeah.
At least the fine leather strap was not.
Yeah. It was actually canvas. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, what else is on Chase's website that remotely interesting?
I don't know. You guys see anything? He did add. I was watching him a little bit this week because I got a little bit of the bug, and I didn't see much added this week because they was closed Memorial Day.
Oh, he sold the Calatrava. It looked like, huh? Because he had that Calatrava we were looking at last week with the charcoal dial. Remember that?
Yeah.
Was it
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, my AD's calling. I'll be back.
AD never calling.
Yeah, he had a pretty good price on this thing too.
Yeah, I thought so. I thought he did.
Not surprised.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully it was a viewer.
Yeah, pretty good price.
Yeah.
I think it was like 32, 33.
Yeah.
Right? Pretty good. Pretty good. Now you tell me that can't be an everyday watch?
Oh,
You're saying that's a dress watch?
No, I don't think this is a dress watch because I think this crosses between dress and kind of like a field style.
Right.
It's like a really fancy, beautiful field watch with those Arabics.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Sorry, guys. My internet keeps cutting out. It's waking up.
Oh my God.
It's waking up this morning. I don't know what's going on here. I pay for high speed. My bill is ridiculous, and I keep getting cut out. But this is this is a daily, George. I agree.
Yeah.
This thing,
Yeah.
the perpetual calendar chrono from Patek might, that's a little bit of a stretch.
Crossover.
Yeah, this one I really like. And you're buying it after someone else who's chasing the Nautilus / Aquanaut took the depreciation hit, and you're walking right in, getting a nice hefty discount.
Yeah.
And you got a beautiful Patek.
I think these retail, Cap, if I'm not mistaken, like mid 40s, right?
That sounds right.
Mid to high 40s.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So mid to high 40s plus sales tax. I think he had it for about 34. So you're saving about like 10 to 12,000 bucks, and I think this is a pretty damn good value.
Yeah, I thought so.
Really good value for the money.
Yeah.
Orko agrees. He says it has all the elements of a field watch. And Frank Cannon says, "Damn it, Lucha, you don't have to dress up to wear a dress watch."
That's what I keep saying.
That's true.
But yeah, I thought that was a good deal. And then let's see. He's got one of the new Tudors in the 68s for 4,500. That's like $300-400 bucks under retail, I think. Still got that Zenith at $6,000.
Keep scrolling.
Keep scrolling. He's got some Omegas.
Keep scrolling.
Hey, look, George, IWCs. He's got IWCs.
Now, really, let's move it on.
All right. What do you guys think of the Laureato?
Oh.
I mean, I like it at those prices. I don't like this particular one with the gold dial. They have the salmon.
No, either.
Yeah, I like the salmon. They have a black ceramic.
Yeah.
I think it's great. And I keep hearing, the whole legacy of who is it? TPG.
Yeah.
Timepiece Gentleman. Oh, he tainted the whole brand. I wouldn't give him that much credit.
No.
And I think they're great value. If you don't want to reach for, an AP, but do you go now that they have the IWC, the Engineers that came out?
Yeah. He just sold that blue Engineer. He sold that cheap, I thought. It was he had the brand new blue one. I think it was listed for like a little over $8,000.
And what's the MSRP? Like 12, right?
Yeah. But this was it was this one here, this blue dial. The blue dial's one of the new ones for this year. And it came out like November, December. So that's it. But I remember seeing that thinking, wow, that looks like a deal on that watch. And somebody scooped it up.
What are the GPs, the Laureatos? What's the MSRP on that? Same, like 12?
I think they're more expensive.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah, I think those are like mid-teens for the stainless steel.
Damn, that's pricey.
Yeah. Nobody knows because nobody, at least in our world, buys them at retail.
Right.
So we don't know. We have no idea about the So George, going back to when the guy that you were watching that had that site that does the Singapore auctions.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you watched it, but he was giving kind of an overview of how certain brands went at auction.
Yeah, I saw it. Yep.
So, he was talking about Debatoon, the whole watch box thing, and MB&F. And it's interesting to me to see which brands kind of are holding up. And he said, look, it's natural they're going to go under retail because every Patek but a Nautilus and Aquanaut goes under retail as well.
Yeah, and we all knew that.
Everybody
knew that. Yeah.
So, it's just interesting to me how they're stabilizing and performing in the secondary market. In that auction market.
But as much as I have, Cap, because you've been at this game, as long as I have. But things change, right? Doesn't mean the next auction, Jorn could underperform, because I remember up until recently, Jorn was kind of underperforming.
Yes.
Yes. And you don't know who's buying or who's on the other end selling. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, it all depends.
It's manipulated too. I mean, Jorn the Jorn Foundation or museum or
Yeah.
whatever he has.
They
Could-
bought the clock, right? They bought that
100%.
clock. Yeah. So that's all. I
Cap's-
just say, with
Cap's
these,
been
you
at
don't-
this. Cap's been at this so long that he bought a watch to celebrate the last Yankees World Series win.
Ooh.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I have this. I have a sundial too.
I have the wrist version.
Oh,
It's brutal, man. This is not
Yeah.
for the faint of heart, for sure.
no.
And you wonder why panelists don't jump on, man. I mean,
I know, right?
I mean, I'm getting hammered everywhere. I'm taking shots everywhere. The Jets.
Hey, Mark, I'm the Tim G of your channel.
Squeaky pipe.
This is the alter ego of Brian. You can say whatever you want, Brian. We'll believe it.
Yeah, sorry, I just got back from the weekend trip to the Maldives. I'd go check on my bank accounts there.
Oh God. But anyways, I thought I'd just show you that complication from
That's beautiful watch.
for 100 and that's a lot of watch for that money.
For 120
A lot of
grand,
watch.
it's a lot of watch.
Oh, a lot of watch.
And the ones that are the older ones, right? The 36 millimeters, and I don't know the reference, but I want to say I'm going to botch it, so I'm not even going to throw it out there. But I know this. So Tony Traina, if you guys know him, who used to be at Hodinkee, and now he's on his own, a younger guy, and he says the collectability of like the 36 millimeters, the older I think they're neo vintage or vintage, are creeping up, and they're around. The cheapest one is in the low hundreds, and then they go up from there. You buy one of those, and I don't advocate kind of putting a watch in a safe deposit box or making money off it, right? But if you want to just have that piece for that real special occasion, you could buy this one, because for size, it's what you guys said it's 41. 41?
Yeah.
40?
Yeah. Yeah.
There was somebody had the 37 or 38 millimeter size of this recently, and I was looking at it going, ooh, could be. Ooh. Maybe it was
But to think if it's like a 36 or a 37 millimeter version of this, that's really impressive that Paddock had the ability to do this this perpetual calendar in such a small size, right?
Yeah.
Just to fabricate it, the technology behind it, because when you get a larger size watch, it goes up in less degree of difficulty to execute an annual calendar or a perpetual calendar, right?
Europeans.
I would think, right?
This is the thing that gets me with watches. Is that back in the 70s and 80s, when everything was 34 and 36 millimeter and smaller, that's harder to do than 40 or 42. You got more room to fuck around in there.
That's right. Yep. That is right.
European watch has 3 5270s in there. One of them, they've got a white gold one for less than Chase has on this one.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
what year is it?
118. They're saying it's a 2015.
Oh.
Let's go there.
Let's play
this one here.
Yeah. Let's play Spend George's Money Now.
Nice.
Oh God. Personally, go with Chase's.
I think depending on how long Europeans had it, it's a little more movable.
Well, this is also a 2015.
Yeah, it's a 2015.
Yeah. Out of warranty.
Yeah.
Way out of warranty.
Way. So add the service cost, $5,000.
Yeah.
No, European will give you 1 year.
How much is that Calatrava there, Lucha? Next to the that one.
$39,900.
Under retail.
Yeah, but
Chase
grand.
was like 32 to 34, I think, right, Lucha?
I think it was like 34.
Oh
Yeah.
wow, that's a huge difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Chase will work with you too, I'm sure. Like these, a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh no, like Brian says, it's about 250 to maybe 500 if you're lucky.
Yeah.
Chase prices his stuff, and then if it doesn't sell at that, he'll lower the price a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's normally priced pretty good out the gate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't mind that because I hate the awkwardness of, the back and forth and trying to, hammer someone for $500, $250 when.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Well, that's because you didn't go to Hebrew school and learn all that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Listen, for me, it's an art form.
The art of the deal. Should I read the art of the deal?
Yeah.
No.
Too late. I think I read it I don't even know when the book came out, but when I bought my sundial, I read it.
Right.
I know you were collecting you were collecting Beanie Babies back then.
Yes.
Well, on another note, Urban Jurgensen, a little known brand, is about to relaunch in about 3 or 4 days, if I'm not mistaken. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Kari Voutilainen is part owner.
Yeah, it's under his network umbrella.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and those are very limited with Urban.
Yeah,
I think they're hard to get. I think they doesn't his watches sell out? By mega collectors.
I used to remember like they used to have like a really nice sports watch back in the day, and it used to sell pretty quickly online when they used to have them. But yeah, like Gen G said, it's been doing really well at the auctions because it's kind of like the Roger Dubuis effect. The older the Roger Dubuis is, the higher the sales on those are. But the newer ones, I'm kind of looking forward to seeing with the influence of Voutilainen.
Yeah.
Similar thing with Daniel Roth. The pre-Bulgari Daniel Roths are doing better now.
Yeah.
Right.
Good morning, Thomas Burnett. Hey, if anybody out there did not catch yesterday's escapement show, he did a like an old school ID guy wrist shot show. It was kind of nostalgic and fun. So a lot of people sent in pictures, including me, pictures of their watches, and they kind of went through. It was like just reminded me really of those old ID guy shows. It was good. Check it out. Escapement.
Cap, it's okay when a mega internet superstar like Thomas Burnett comes onto the smaller channels, but not when the smaller channel comes onto the bigger one.
Yeah, sorry, Brian, I missed part of that because I didn't pay.
Don't worry about it.
I didn't pay my internet bill, and I'm really not happy. I'm really not happy right now with Verizon FiOS. Anyhow, holy shit!
Those damn dial-ups, they never work right, don't they?
Yeah,
I know. I'm still on America Online. Apparently,
AOL
dial-up. I missed the boat.
Oh God!
I missed something. Call Elon Musk. I need what's the one? Starlink.
Starlink.
Houston, we have a problem.
Those 100-hour free discs have no expiration date.
There you go.
We could allegedly go to the moon. No, and I believe that of course we did. But I can't get internet anyway.
Right.
I thought Urban I think they make a very limited number of watches, or I don't know about the new drop, but historically, I think they were in the low hundreds.
Right.
Yeah.
But George,
I go ahead, buddy.
You'd have to take I don't know if I'd want to even show it on any of these streams because, the blowback and beating that you'd be taking from not you guys.
Did you just say blowback and? Did you just say blowback and beating off of an Urban Jurgensen?
There you go. See,
that's better than George V's Oral B.
That weighs strongly in the don't buy category.
or
that
even
reason.
worse, Lucha's IWC.
Oh man.
Sorry, Lucha, I couldn't resist. Oh man, oh, what do you do? What do you do?
IWC rocks.
You buy a Seamaster.
Oh, I like the summer blue Seamasters.
Nice color.
They did a nice job of those. Nice. Let's see if there's anything else in there that catches anybody's fancy on the new arrivals.
What do you guys think is going on with Cartier these days, and all the hype and all the money that's going into Cartier?
I like the Santos.
Mm-hmm.
I think, I mean, they are they're the number 2 Swiss watch seller. And they passed Omega like 3 years ago. And I just think they're kind of coming back into everybody's field of vision. Is beautiful watches.
Oh, Cartier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which one did they come out with that watches and wonders? The tank.
No, they came out with the mono pusher, right? Was that right?
Yeah, but they came out with that tank. I think it's the Jump Hour with the.
Oh, really?
Yeah, with the. I think they have it in different precious metals too. The E-Gauche. Jen will know what it is. I forgot what it's called.
Cartier is finally getting the respect they deserve, and Kent says they also own the women's market. Yeah, I would. Jen says it's a tank.
Oh yeah,
guichet.
Yeah, you know,
tank
like
aguichet.
Nice.
Aguichet.
Yeah.
That's not how you spell it. For those viewing at home, but close enough.
Close enough.
But it's interesting because now I think Cartier has kind of become kind of like the it brand all of a sudden.
Yeah. Hey, maybe you should get a Cartier. Actually, no. I was thinking of a Patek Ellipse. Get a Pebble, George. Get a. No, what's that one? The Crash. Get a Crash.
Crash. Speaking of, did you watch that video on the 1916 company where they interviewed, where George Mayer interviewed Kevin O'Leary?
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good actually. It was a pretty nice interview.
It was. It was interesting to hear him talk about like getting that vintage Seiko for the movie.
Right. I thought that was a great story.
How he started wearing on the right wrist a more attainable piece, and since he was double wristing. What did you do to Brian, Cap? His internet died.
I don't know. It's complicated. It's complicated how this works.
Blue line is Omega's best for the Seamaster line. They are beautiful. That summer blue colors were really nice. That Cavalier interview was good.
Yeah. Is it the Crash? I'm just wondering, is every Crash a piece unique, or is are they the same? You know what I'm saying? Is the design the same?
I think the shape is the same.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I think the shape's the same.
Because I know almost every Voodoo Linen is a piece unique. Because no two Voodoo Linens are ever the same. So I'm just kind of curious. And the funny thing is Cap, if you were listening, you were talking about that video where they were talking about the Singapore, the watch guy there. He talked about Roger Smith. Did you see that?
Yes, I did.
Did you see? And he's basing his prices on his watches on auction results, and now the auctions for his watches have actually gone down in price.
Huh.
Which was an interesting comment.
Yeah. Do you remember? Who is that guy? He used to come on the streams, and he was in the I think the art world. What the heck was his name? He would pop on some of the streams. He had a Roger Smith.
Mm.
He had a Roger Smith. His name will come to me. And at the time, I mean, those were going for double, triple retail.
Yeah.
If you could even get one. But yeah, that Singapore was eye-opening because
Yeah.
it seemed like it was getting softer.
Mhm.
You know, and I thought Roger Smith and like Kari Voutilainen pieces would never like get soft.
I thought the same thing. I was thinking all those, and Philippe Dufour. I thought all these like the quote unquote gods of the industry would never see the prices drop, but I
Yeah.
guess something's happening.
Yep. And FP Journe is, well, according to the auction results anyway, as strong as ever, stronger than ever.
Yeah. But like he was saying, even though the prices realized on those auctions, they're much higher than what you could buy them on Chrono for.
Yep.
So you have to weigh each, you got to balance it out, I guess.
Oh, you know who it was? I just remembered. George, you might remember him and maybe Lucha. Todd Levin.
Oh, yeah.
Remember Todd?
Yes,
I
did. Yeah.
I met him.
Yeah.
He was at Watch Time New York, and I had his Roger Smith on wrist.
Whatever happened to him? I haven't heard from him in a long time.
Thomas.
I don't know.
Yeah, he just seemed like he just disappeared all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, he's in the dustbin of history now, George.
I guess.
We're the sole survivors. You know, you really separate the wheat from the chaff in terms of.
Oh my God.
You know, okay, Todd, he talked a good game, and where is he now? But he had very few watches, though. He was very focused on like George Daniels and getting piece uniques from Roger Smith, and he'll wait 3 or 4 years.
Yeah,
so, you know.
Do you remember back in the day, Cap? You remember the London Watch Channel?
The London Watch Channel.
Yeah.
How long ago is that?
Oh God, this is like way pre, like maybe 2018, 2019, and he would have like all the hype pieces. He'd have a show every Saturday, and he'd get like these crazy pieces at the time. You know, he was based out of London, and then I think he moved to Dubai, and he's never had another video since. Yeah. Never had another video. So, and it was always interesting because like you get up in the mornings on a Saturday, and you get your notification on YouTube that he had posted a video, and it was actually really well done for the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, he had all the hype pieces. He had the Aquanaut, he had the Nautilus, he had all kinds of. Yep, exactly, Doc Mick. Yeah, the London Watch Collector. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Muhammad. He had one hype watch after another, which was it was amazing. Like every week.
I don't know. Maybe the crash got to him, and he was holding too much inventory.
Maybe I don't know.
He should have sold out of his Bitcoin.
Well, he never showed his face, so you didn't know.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
Was he wearing pajamas?
No, he was not.
Okay, well, that's good.
He had a really nice BMW supposedly, and all this other stuff. Yeah,
that was a reference to the other guy.
Yeah, he had one hype watch after another.
Yeah. Oh well.
Hey, so how is the? I understand the Richard Mille market is softened as well. I mean, there. Oh wow. Oh, sorry, George.
Speaking of. There you go.
Well, when I say soften, that's all relative, right? Because
well, I think a lot of it has softened, to be honest with you. So, and you know what though? That's fine. That's good because maybe now the real collectors will start to buy the RMs, which is good.
If they get to the right level, I mean, they're still very expensive, but people can now get in if they've been waiting for it. And I like the design. I think they're really cool watches. They're sporty. With all that tech inside. I think they're very cool.
Yeah. I have to admit, this is still the favorite watch to wear.
Let me make you big, George.
Oh, there you go. You can see the open case back here.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. Annual calendar, chronograph, still the flagship. When I think of RM, this was the one that made them the company that it is. So this is always staying in the collection. So this isn't going anywhere.
Right.
So we'll see.
It's a beautiful
But
piece.
yeah, the 67 though, I have to admit, that would be a piece I would really love to get back into my collection. And I think that's really hard to get that these days still. I think certain RMs I think are easier to get.
Mhm.
And others are just impossible. You know, anything like the Bubba Watson or the Nadal, of any iteration of the Nadal or the Bubba Watson, are very tough to get. You know, and the Pharrell Williams are almost. I've never seen one in the wild. I've never even seen it with an AD, to be honest with you. So, I think there's a whole bunch of them that just are just impossible to get. And then there's others you'd be surprised, like the RM1, the Ferrari. You could probably get one, and again, you're talking about almost $2 million.
Ooh, $2 million.
But and the funny thing, Mark, is in the gray, I've seen them at like other places for like 1.1.
Okay.
So it's like you take almost a 900K hit.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but 900K to me is a decent amount of money.
Yeah. I would say that would hurt.
That would hurt a lot.
I need a lot of dental floss.
Oh my God. That's a huge hit.
That's a huge hit. That's like my house times 3,
Yeah. The and the interesting thing is like the RM40, the McLaren, is 875. And I remember having a conversation with my AD, and he told me, well, if I bought that, I would be the first to get the RM3503, which is the Nadal. I'm like, well, if I really wanted to lose about $500,000 with the RM40, I would just buy the 3503.
Yeah.
The gray, and save $500,000.
Save some
Oh, hey, Jen has a request. Let's pull up the RM7. She said she's a fan of it. Let's just look at some.
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
Richard Mill 07-01.
Yeah, it's a beauty.
All right. These are nice Cartiers, by the way.
Yeah.
He has they have everything at European in terms of Cartier, right? And Patek is.
Oh yeah.
They're my go-to.
Oh yeah.
These are really nice. I saw one with the there's like in the dial a pure onyx without all the diamonds on it, and it looked real nice.
A lot of these they fancy a lot of these ones up, don't they?
Mm.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Whoops. Check that. I mean, that's quite a statement.
Oh. So there you go. So Jen is saying the RM1, the Ferrari, is sold for $500,000 recently. That's like a loss of almost $1.5 million from MSRP. From MSRP,
Holy crap, that is insane.
Yeah.
Billy says if I lost 900K, I would jump out the window.
Oh God. Yeah. Oh God.
I have a hard time seeing RM holding its status or expanding its appeal to classic watch collectors. Modern production techniques in a crafts industry is a niche within a niche. Not a fan.
Well, I know that RM has its own steel making factory. I know RM has its own ceramic factory. They're innovating. They're staying on top of. They're controlling production. They're doing the best. I think better than most watch companies are. And they're marketing to a group of people, that's exclusive, and they're selling exclusivity. I'm not here to hype them or anything like that, but I would just say it's a pretty close-knit community.
Right. Nobody's inviting Lucha to the RM party.
Yeah, it's and it like Kent says. It's not for everyone. It suits your taste. It's like Jorn, right? You look at a Jorn and you're
Right.
like, is it your taste or is it not your taste?
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. But yeah, these are nice. These are really nice, actually.
Yeah, they're beautiful watches.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to say, I like a lot of the RMs. There's a lot of them I look at it, I think that's a beautiful watch, and I appreciate the technology and stuff. It's just not something I'm ever going to own, so I don't pay a lot of attention to it. You know what I mean? Like, because I know, in the grand scheme of things, I'm never going to own one, but it doesn't mean I don't appreciate what they do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
they aren't
a love-hate relationship.
They're creating a RM lifestyle for the few. Yeah, I think that's very true too. They're not looking to sell to everyone. Very exclusive is what RM is aiming for, but also that means it's got a ceiling when it comes to expanding demand, even within the tiny circle of collectors who appreciate modern tech and watches. Yeah, I think they'll always have it. I don't think they produce enough to out source their audience yet. So
yeah. Well, I mean,
703 Marshmallow.
The Marshmallow. Yeah, I heard about this Marshmallow watch. That's true, but for modern tech, like you can go Debitune, MB&F, Urwerk, and that's kind of more in line with a more a less expensive. They're totally different, obviously, aesthetic wise, and Richard Mills is its own thing.
Yeah, but like I said, it's the 67. The 67 line is such a good entry level. I mean, what am I saying? Entry level. You're spending about $140,000. Jesus Christ, But
Jen, really, Jen?
The cotton candy? Is that a cotton candy?
I don't like these at all.
No,
isn't this
no.
what? Wasn't this called the Bonbon? Am I correct? I thought
it was Marshmallow.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Bonbon collection.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
These are pretty cool.
You like these?
It's just different, right, Mark? Think of it.
It is different.
It's pretty cool. But like I said, wait until you scroll down and see the price.
Yeah. People get RM could care less about long-term value. It's status. Oof. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it. Like if I was spending that kind of money, I certainly
and it's funny because those rectangular shaped ones are usually way under MSRP versus the tonneau shaped ones, which is really interesting.
Well, I think when you think of RM, you think of that tonneau, $122 to $158,000.
There you go.
Oof.
I mean, look at that watch. Does anyone think that looks good? That the square one? I mean, it's.
Oh, see, now Jen is saying like the Marshmallows over 1 million plus in. Is that MSRP or is that in the gray? I think probably in the gray because I don't think that Marshmallow is over $1 million MSRP. So basically, if it is, it's 10 times MSRP almost.
Oof.
8 times, 9 times. Anyways, might be gray. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the other issue is there's so little of these watches produced, right? So you can ask whatever you want to ask. It doesn't mean you're going to get that. So,
right.
Yeah. I mean, listen, for $400,000 or $500,000, what did Cars and Chrono had that equation of time? The VC, the Vacheron with the tourbillon. I think it was a piece. I think it was a museum piece. I think it was a one of one when he bought it. That thing was insane.
Yeah.
I think he also had that that resonance with the constant force mechanism on it. I thought that was pretty cool that he bought from 1916 company, the Jorn. And I think who was it that delivered? Somebody from 1916 hand delivered it to him. I thought that was pretty damn good for $400,000 Jorn.
Oh yeah. Was that Black Label? Had to be, right?
Something. Yeah. I know it was one of the rarer ones that he made. It was with the brass movements, so it was early resonance, I think.
I mean, he has everything, or at one
Yeah,
point
yeah.
had everything. Grubel Force, I know
Oh,
he
yeah.
had. Haven't
I
heard
would
much
like
from them.
Yeah, I was just about to say Grubel Forces actually, I think, the problem with them is everything was like 46, 47 millimeters, right? So those are like all lucha size.
Yeah.
And, those of us, whose sweet spot's like 42 and under, it's like,
Mhm.
you can't wear those things.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
They're so
Great
comfortable.
Goldfinger. Always good to see Goldfinger in the chat.
Hey,
Goldfinger.
Goldfinger.
Yeah, so yeah, I think this is a little bit of an extreme position because I don't think RM owners are. They might be attention seekers to a certain point. I don't think they're insecure or
No,
not.
John has just described me to the T. Leave him alone. Leave him alone. He's absolutely right. He's absolutely right. I make sure that in all my family photos
I don't know.
I always have my wrist out, John. You're absolutely right. All the time.
I think that RM. So when I think of RM, I think it's sort of like Rolex people. There are certain people that are in it for the hype. There are certain people that are collectors. It's but it's a niche brand, and they're not trying to be Rolex, Cartier, Omega, like at the top of that Swiss making list. You know what I mean? Like they're not trying to sell 1 million watches a year.
Right.
What do they produce a year?
Oh,
It's in the hundreds. A few thousand?
A few thousand.
Okay.
Yeah. I would think like I don't want to say, but I think in less than 2,500 to 3 is what I'm thinking across all lines.
Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. We miss. He said he was adding to a prior comment. Sorry. Sorry, John.
No problem, John. No problem, John.
Sorry, John D.
Oh, no
Didn't mean to roll you under the bus. But yeah, I think that what they're looking for, I like their business model and what they've done because they're looking for people that want to be part of that RM club. I don't think that they look at, and I think if you really want an RM and you really want to be in that club, it's like you, George. You always say when you show your RM, this will never leave the collection.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I've been through a lot of them, Mark, over the years. This has always stayed. My David Tunes have always stayed. My Laurent Ferrier has always stayed.
Right.
So, and my 2 Daytonas will always stay, but everything else kind of fluctuates,
Exactly. And I think that's their market is the people that want to watch, want to be part of the RM brand. I think it's different. I really think it's different. Like I said, when you look at Rolex people, if you see somebody wearing no offense, Cap, but when you see someone wearing a sub, you don't know if that's a watch person or just somebody who wanted the hype watch. When you see them, like if they're wearing an RM, there's at least something to talk about with them outside of just the hype.
Oh yeah. Oh, you mean with Rolex? I keep.
Yeah.
I heard part of that. Yeah. I mean, look, I think if you're wearing like one Rolex because you want to flex a Rolex, I could agree with that.
There are collectors too, and there's watch enthusiasts too. But there's a lot of people that are hype people.
Might depend
too.
But most RM owners own,
a
lot of other independents and Paddocks and APs and everything else. They're just not. Right. I don't know a single RM owner that just owns exclusively RMs.
Right. Exactly.
I don't know one.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think, listen, we can get into a whole thing about what's a collector and or an enthusiast. Does Mark Zuckerberg is he a real collector or enthusiast if he could just throw $10 million to a watch collection when he's worth billions? You got to have skin in the game. So I don't care if you're an RM collector, a Rolex collector, an Omega collector. you got to kind of dig a little deeper, because if someone owns 20 Submariners dating back to 1954, that's a collector.
Absolutely. But like I said, with some of these arms, I've never even seen out in the wild. I've never even seen some of this stuff. So it's kind of like who they're giving it to are probably celebrities and high profile clients, and they're not selling them. So
Right.
that's what they market to, right?
I think, look, it's aesthetics too. You have to like, you could just be drawn to that style, the tonneau case, the tech, the fact you could see the movement. Who's the closest replica? Not replica, that's the wrong word, but
maybe like a Frank Mueller.
Frank Mueller. Well, that he borrowed or admittedly borrowed the design from Frank Mueller.
Yeah.
I mean,
but the tonneau's shape has gone, way further than that. I mean, I believe Paddock had the gondola, which kind of looks like, all this. So it goes back further than Frank Mueller.
No, I agree. But when I think of that style of watch, Frank Mueller definitely comes to mind. Some of the Hublots come to mind, but they're not RMs. They're not even close to being an RM. They're just. But if I wanted something that shape, I might look at something like that.
Yeah, it's like I said, there's no, I don't know how you'd classify an RM collector or a Vacheron collector or a Rolex collector or AP. I think everybody's the same. And there's pieces from our AP that are just as expensive or more than an entry level RM. So price, it's just whatever you like.
I try not to get into the a lot of the bullshit that goes around those things. I just appreciate. I love watches. I've always loved watches. I can't. Where I am in my life and stuff, I'm not going to spend $100,000 on a watch. But that doesn't mean I don't appreciate it or that I fire truck.
Well,
or that I don't. Geez.
Oh my gosh, what's going on in your neighborhood there?
I don't know. They're heading down to the newer sections. Maybe
I've always, you know what I always say about watches for men, right? It's basically our only accessory, right?
Right. Exactly.
The women all have, necklaces and earrings and rings and bracelets, and you name it, right? What do we put on when we go out?
A watch.
A nice watch, right?
Exactly.
So,
like I say, I always say that wherever you're at in your your collecting journey or in your life, you collect what you like.
Exactly. Cap, and this is always good to see you, Cap.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like I said, this is just a hobby, for God's sake, right? This isn't back in the day, this wasn't like investing and things like that, right? You buy what you like, and watches always depreciate. At least when I was, and you're lucky when you sold if you got half your money back.
I started buying nicer watches in the mid to late 90s.
Yeah.
And I've lost a ton on watches over the years. But I have to tell you, it wasn't unexpected. Like even when I would trade in, like the Rolexes, I bought the first one, and then I traded, up twice, and I expected to take a little bit of a hit. I was surprised that this is how naive I was, George. I was surprised that they would take one in on trade.
Well, I started in 1984 with the Swatch, which was the Halley's Comet edition.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And then I went to all these kind of fashion brand watches like Guess, Guess watches and all this other stuff. And, you name it, Victorinox, I had all that. And then my first real grown up watch was a Movado, if you remember those, the black with like, bought that at at the time Bloomingdale's. It was like 400, $500 or something, right?
Yep,
It's and I still have those watches. It
exactly.
wasn't until 2006 or seven that I bought a Rolex, right? And that was
2001 was my first Rolex.
there you go. See,
My,
it's just like I said, it's just a hobby. It's a great hobby. It's a
yeah,
fun hobby. Always nice to you get it's not really even the watches, it's the stories behind the watches, right?
exactly.
Correct? Am I
Yeah,
correct? Yeah.
100%.
You could have a Timex. I mean, you heard the story about like Kevin O'Leary talking about that Seiko, right? What a
Hmm.
great story. What a
Yeah,
great story. That's always what it's about. It's not about what you're wearing, but it's a story behind it, right?
right. That's terrible. Hold on, I'm trying
Yeah.
to pull up. So my friends, I had Movado friends, and I bought
Mm.
something different. It was Movado-ish. I'm trying to find a picture of one. Geez, hold on. Have you ever heard of the brand CYMA? CYMA.
Have not.
They were a Dirty Dozen brand. I think they pulled
Mm.
out of the States.
Mm.
Um, but I had two CYMAs were my first two kind of nice watches. One of them was this two-tone. It kind of, I can't make this picture bigger. Hold on. But it was this watch right here. It was a two-tone,
Mm.
steel and 18 karat gold. This is late 90s, probably mid to late
Mm.
90s. And it was a quartz watch, but it was a real pretty watch. And it was just different enough than from my buddies' Movados.
Mm.
Because a lot of them had that Esperanza. Remember that one with the weird bracelet?
Yeah, vaguely, Mark.
Yeah,
I try to forget my Movado past.
try to forget your Movado past. But it was a real thin quartz watch. It was two tone. It was cool. It was the 90s.
I think one time we were talking about Rado, right? Rado is the number one selling watch in India.
Yeah, that's what you said. They just came out with
It's
some new stuff.
unbelievable. I remember like on every flight I was on going to India, they used to have an in-flight duty shop, and
Yeah.
in the little magazine, everything was Rado, and I've always wondered why is that? It's because Indians love Rado for some crazy reason.
Well, what are you gonna do? I think I
Uh,
told the story on here, and I showed a picture of it of a guy. I forget where he was from, but he had on a Hublot, and
mm,
wherever he was from, I can't remember the country, but that was he bought that Hublot. He had a catering business, and when he made enough money, he bought it because back home where he was from, that was the watch.
well, I think Brazil. It's really popular. I know in Brazil. I know for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
I was told it's really popular in Brazil. So,
and to him, that was just, it was, it was a fine watch.
mhm.
But to him, that meant that he had kind of made it a little bit.
Mhm.
Treble says that Rado is a sponsor of the cricket.
Yeah. See, there you go. That might explain the linkage to India, I guess.
Yeah,
But
but
yeah, these are
they've come
all
out with some new
nice
stuff.
watches.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've come out with some of these
Hmm.
new cases and stuff.
Yep.
I remember when they were kind of cutting edge on the ceramic and
Yeah.
stuff.
That watch actually looks pretty nice. Can you
Yeah,
click that? And let's
yeah.
let's just do a little deep dive into
Let's see
Rados.
what we got here. Come on. Jeez, oh Pete, these watch websites stink, George. They
Oh
really-
yeah. How much is that?
47.50.
Hey, that's not too bad.
Yeah,
Actually, it looks pretty decent.
yeah.
But it's automatic, I'm assuming.
It's automatic.
Yeah. Well,
It's got kind of a cool case shape to
ah,
it. Two-tone.
hmm, interesting.
Yeah. Boom, 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 boom.
Very.
Mm.
Very interesting.
30.5 diameter. It's hard to tell what that really means on those square watches because they all seem to wear bigger than what they say.
Yeah. All true.
I mean, it
But
doesn't look
interesting.
tiny on it.
Interesting. I haven't even looked at Rado in decades.
Yeah, I can't.
Decades and
I can't.
decades.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I looked at that one. That's kind of yeah. If you're into that type of thing,
Yeah, but like now these days for that kind of money, you get a really nice Tudor or
Yeah.
something more substantial, which is interesting. But I don't know. There's a market. They've been around forever, so I'm sure they're selling them.
Tudor. I don't know what's going on with Tudor. They dropped off the top 20 Swiss watch list.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I'm not sure what's going on with Tudor right now. I think part of it is everything's a black bay.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Or some derivative of a black bay. They like to see them do something different, or they come out with a new, sport Pelagos or, that you can only wear on a NATO strap. And I can't stand wearing NATO straps. I just don't like it, George.
Mark, on that note, I'm going to have to hop off. I've got some stuff to get done. The missus is getting kind of antsy-pantsy back there, so I've got to get going.
Okay.
But always nice to stop in on a Sunday. It's become a tradition, actually.
Yeah.
It's even better now that Brian is not around,
Yeah.
And always nice to see Cap and hopping on everybody else and Kent and Treble and John, always good to see good friends from the chats. So
100%.
You got a big plans for the weekend or anything?
Nah, I'm relaxed. It was a long end of the month week. So I was just relax. I'm just relaxing today. I gotta head over to the supermarket to grab a couple things, but other than that, just taking it easy. Yeah, I've still been taking it easy. The leg's not 100% yet, so it's still been kind of taking.
Oh yeah, I forgot to ask you how your leg was doing.
It's much better. Every day seems to get a little better, but it was a long heel, very long heel. So
yeah, always like I said, just take it easy, Mark. Don't stand up too much,
Yeah,
and just take it easy and relax and What is weather okay out in Pittsburgh these days?
It's cold, George. It's been cold.
Oh, gee.
Like 40s and 50s, and I keep saying I got ripped off. I was promised, George. I was promised that the world was heating up, and I was going to have some global warming, and it is not. It is not showing up in Pittsburgh.
Oh.
It's June 1st. I think the high today is 62.
Oh, well, I'm sure you'll make it up. Anyways, have a good weekend, everyone in the chats. Be safe, stay healthy. Always good to see all of you. Be safe out there. Take care, Mark. We'll see you soon. Take care.
Absolutely. Always. So again, this silly little show I do on Sunday mornings, but to get people like George Varghese, Brian, Cap, Harry, BW. I mean, I get great. We get some pretty good watch talk. It's nice to see people in the thing. John D says fair point under at Lucha Medic. They have really been offering Black Bay everything and really not much more. Yeah, the Pelagos had some tries. I like the Ultra. I tried on the Ultra. I actually like that. But it's I don't know. It just doesn't seem to be a big, whereas I look at some brands that are making a comeback, like Tag. Tag has made some interesting new watches here the last couple of years. But it just seems like every time it's something new with Tudor, and I don't dislike Tudor as a brand, but it just kind of seems like the same stuff. Good afternoon, George. End of the month was brutal. Yes. Not cold where Kent is. It's been cold here. But these new Rados are kind of cool looking, interesting shape. If you like that kind of thing, I like. Let's see if I can pull up something here. Some of the watches that I've been purveying. I just put a new one on there. But I've been looking at stuff like this, like the No Time to Die. I love that summer blue Seamaster. The Ultra Deeps. Of course, there's always Aqua Timers in my thing. World Timers, Venice. These Cartier Santos gray with the ADLC bezel, I like a lot. I don't know why. It's been something I go back and look at a lot. So I'm trying to decide what I am looking for. Treble says, if Tudor keeps dropping, I will buy the bronze 58. Nothing else interests me. Yeah, I love the dial on the bronze editions. The 369 on those, but Brian says summer started in Orlando on May 1st. Look out. Very good looking watch. Yeah, that Santos is a good looking watch. I like the fact that it has the rubber strap that comes with it. I've looked at it. This is definitely in the running piece for me. Essentially, I'm trying to decide, what the mix is going to be, or what I want to do. If I just want to go all Omega, or if I want to have like an Omega something. I would like to have, my Super Racing is my Chrono. I would like to have a kind of a Gata watch, which this would qualify as. It's 100 meters water resistance. It's a good looking watch. You can kind of do anything with that. And one dive watch. I mean, that's kind of where I would like to be at the end of the year. I think that would be a good thing. Orko, when I was in Philly the last time, I went to the Cartier boutique in King of Prussia and tried on the Santos, and I actually liked it more than I thought. It's not a watch that I'd really ever considered before, and I was like, oh, it's actually nicer than I thought it would be. And I met a really cool, knowledgeable salesperson there, young kid, but he really knew the play, knew what was going on. Gen G says classes plays up a bit, Mark. Buy the Cartier. Yeah. It's a good looking watch. It's definitely in the running. It is definitely in the running. I just, there's, when we go through this, so if you look at some of the stuff, and this list changes daily on, what to get or not to get. You have IWC Big Pilot 43. You've got No Time to Die. I'm still obsessed with this watch, which I don't like Grand Seiko in general, but I like this watch. This Evolution 9 GMT, the Mist Flake, if you will. I saw this in person at Teddy Baldessar's. The dial is amazing on that watch. Your Ultra Deeps. There's just all kinds of weird shit I like. The Aqua Timer. There'll always be an Aqua Timer on my list somewhere. But yeah, that's the kind of stuff that I just like. That Kente said, yeah, the Grand Seiko is very nice. It is. I hate the Grand Seiko name. We've talked about this before. I just that's my only issue with that watch. But it's a beautiful watch. If you've ever seen it in person, it is at the finish on it. They talk about the finish on these things. It is 100% true. I looked at this watch at Teddy's, tried it on, even put it on a loop and looked at it. It's gorgeous. The polishing on the hands and the indices and the case. I mean, it's just gorgeous watch. Really, it's the only Grand Seiko I like. Because sometimes I think, why don't I just buy that? And then I'm like, because will I move on from it too quick? That's part of the problem as well. Yeah, Grand Seiko has amazing skills. They really do. They really, really do. And the spring drive, the if you've never seen the sweep of that second hand with a spring drive, it is, oh, that thing just floats around the dial. Other things I like about this watch, I like the caps on the hands. I don't know why. I'm not crazy 100% about the bracelet, but it's not terrible. This is probably one of the better Grand Seiko bracelets I've ever tried on the Evolution 9. It's a 41, I think. Let's get in here. 41, yeah, 41 millimeter watch. This particular one would not be big enough for me. They must not have all the links because it says it fits up to a 7.25 inch wrist. So I can't buy that one. But it's one of those things that hang around. I love this watch too. I had the dark blue Zenith Defy Skyline. And sometimes I think, if I want something fun for the summer, because this has that easy exchange strap system. This is the ice blue boutique edition Defy Skyline, and it comes with the light blue rubber strap. That would be a fun summer watch. I don't know. I just can't decide when I want to go. Orko hates the power reserve indicator. It drives him crazy, he says. Kent says, I wish they got the respect they deserve. Yeah, I think they need they they have the snowflake, they have the mist flake, they've got a couple, but I think they really need just a signature watch. I think they really just need a signature watch, something that draws people to them, because the fit and finish and quality is there. They need to upgrade their bracelets. And I guess they put a little bit of a micro adjust in a couple of the new things they released at Watches and Wonders, which will help, but they need to do more of that. I should have a Grand Seiko to go with my Lexus. Seems appropriate. Yes. Your Grand Toyota. Great white on a red rubber strap. I found a couple great whites, and that is another amazing dial. The white Seamaster 300M with the red Seamaster script and the red tip on the second hand. That white ceramic wave pattern dial. That is an amazing watch. What would you think of a summer blue on a colored rubber strap there, Jen? That would be cool. If you guys haven't, please hit the upvote button. I believe, let's see where we're at. We got 25 people still watching and 21 upvotes. And 2 of those upvotes are moi. So we need some likes, please. Let's get it up to 30. Light blue on the summer blue. That would be cool. I love this ice blue with the light blue strap. And I like the fact that it's a quick exchange. I had the summer blue Aquaterra on the light blue rubber strap for a while. I got really tired of the light blue all the time on it, though. Which is what's nice about something like this. It's real easy to exchange. I don't know. I got a lot of things running through my head. What do you guys think I should buy? You've seen some of my lists. You know what I like. Jeez, oh Pete. I don't know what the fire department was doing on the road, but my internet just blanked out. You guys still there? 21 of you are. Let me represent the screen. Jeez, that was freaky. You zapped me right out mid-sentence. Sorry about that, gang. Maybe they hit a line. But anyways, you guys have seen some of the things that I'm looking at here. You know, some of you guys know I'm a big Omega fan. I could do a 3-watch Omega collection easily, or I could do something like a Cartier as a daily driver instead of an Aquaterra, and do a some kind of dive. I could do 3 different brands. I could do who knows? I don't know. I don't know what to do. I'm kidding. I get so confused. What is the sun? Yeah. Oh, yeah. You see me? Good. It's spreading. What do you think of the IWC Sunny? What is the IWC Sunny? I don't even think I know what it is, Jen. Let me look it up. Nothing's coming up for Sunny. What is it, Jen? I don't know what the IWC Sunny is. Need some help on that one. The special edition. Oh, you mean the green? Is that the green with the gold? That's a pretty watch, if that's what you mean. Yes. So that is this watch. Boom. It's a pretty watch. I don't know if I would get tired of the green quickly, if that makes any kind of sense. Let's get a better picture of it. One of the things I don't like about these is they don't have the dread. They don't have an exhibition bag. But it's good looking. I've seen some videos on it and pictures of people like Brad Pitt wearing it and stuff. It's a good looking piece. Yeah, it does seem lighter. When you see real pictures of it, it seems a lot lighter. The gold kind of flashes is a little bit better off of it when you see it. But yeah, I wonder if I would tire of that. And it integrated bracelet watch wise, the Anjanor is not my favorite design. I actually prefer the Zenith to this. And it's a 40 instead of a 41. I don't know. It's a cool watch though. It is. They're very cool watches. Yes, I don't know if it's my cup of tea necessarily, but what are you gonna do? You can't have everything. Where would you put it? You know. I don't know. But we're out of guests. We're a couple hours in. See, I like the Laureato too. I actually prefer the Laureato. At the right deal. I agree, Treble. I agree. But we'll probably go another 5 minutes here if nothing much is going on. We're down to 14 viewers, so somebody probably fired up something for you to watch. Hopefully everyone has a great day. Hopefully I can decide on what the next piece is going to be and the map to the 3. I mean, I could always just buy an Aqua Timer and a Cartier. I could buy a Rolex. What if I went back to Rolex? Bought like a Sea Dweller or something. Or actually, my favorite Rolexes are the cheap ones. I just think the dials look amazing on the OP41 and the Explorer 140. Are my favorite 2 Rolexes. You get something like that. I don't know. I don't know. I'm lost. I'm adrift in a sea of watches. I could do a Rolex dive watch, or I could do go anywhere, do anything kind of a Rolex and add something else. I kind of want to make this the linchpin of my collection. So I would like this one to be my nicest, most expensive watch, which this just went up to 12.2. Oof. 12.2 for a Speedmaster Super Racing with the Spy Rate system. Seems crazy to me. Just seems crazy. But don't shoot the messenger. You can't have everything. Where would you put it? Let's see. Yeah, it looks like OC's firing up. So if you guys want to head on over to the original, here, I'll grab you a link here for anyone interested in further watch content and talk today. Let's see. Overseas is beautiful, but that out of my budget, really. Hold on here. The Polar Explorer, I go back and forth on like that. The Explorer 40, be one of the cool kids. There you go. It's a great watch. It's a great dial. That 369 on that is just classic. Just classic. Here, we'll paste up for anybody looking for more and continued watch content. I put in the link for the original OC channel. Looks like he's talking about the Rolex, which is good because he's been talking a lot about the Patek. So there'll be more content for you guys over there. I got to get to the supermarket, pick up a couple prescriptions and some food and relax a little bit. But I appreciate everybody coming in. On your way out, please, if you haven't, hit the upvote button. We are at, let's click on that, 24 upvotes. We're a little short this week. A little bit short. You guys are welcome. We'll see you Sunday at 10 a.m. again, as usual. Anybody else got anything before we bolt on out of here? Going once, going twice, going 3 times. I don't know. Head on over, click the link, head on over to OC's if you need some more watch content. We'll have that going on over there. We'll do a little bit of, let's see, what is this? We'll see you next week.